Picture this: lush, vibrant vegetables growing stronger than ever, soil that's alive with beneficial microorganisms, and plants that seem to thrive effortlessly season after season. Now imagine achieving all of this without spending another penny on commercial fertilizers. This isn't a gardening fantasy. It's the reality that Korean farmers have been living for generations through a simple yet revolutionary practice known as Korean natural farming. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most powerful techniques from this ancient system, fermented plant juice, or FPJ. This remarkable elixir doesn't just feed your plants, it transforms your entire garden ecosystem from the ground up, creating a self-sustaining cycle of nutrition that makes expensive fertilizers completely unnecessary. Fermented plant juice represents the heart of Korean natural farming's philosophy: work with nature, not against it. This liquid gold is created by fermenting fast-growing, nutrient-rich plants with brown sugar, creating a concentrated extract that's packed with growth hormones, enzymes, amino acids, and beneficial microorganisms. Unlike synthetic fertilizers that force-feed plants with isolated nutrients, FPJ provides a complete spectrum of bioavailable nutrition that plants can actually recognize and utilize effectively. The beauty of FPJ lies in its simplicity and accessibility. Korean farmers traditionally use whatever vigorous plants are growing nearby: bamboo shoots in spring, comfrey throughout the growing season, or even common weeds like dandelions and plantain. The key is selecting plants at their peak vitality, typically harvested in the early morning when their energy is highest. This isn't just folklore. It's based on the understanding that plants concentrate their nutrients and growth compounds during certain times and conditions. What makes FPJ truly revolutionary is its ability to capture and preserve the life force of plants at their most potent stage. When young bamboo shoots are pushing through the earth with incredible force, or when comfrey leaves are thick with healing compounds, that's when Korean farmers harvest them for fermentation. The result is a concentrated essence that carries not just nutrients, but the vigorous growth patterns of the source plants themselves. The fermentation process that creates FPJ is far more sophisticated than it might initially appear. When plant material is combined with brown sugar, the sugar acts as both a preservative and a catalyst, drawing out cellular juices through osmosis while creating an anaerobic environment perfect for beneficial fermentation. This process breaks down complex plant compounds into simpler, more bioavailable forms that plants can immediately absorb and utilize. During fermentation, naturally occurring microorganisms multiply exponentially, creating a diverse ecosystem of beneficial bacteria, yeasts, and enzymes. These microorganisms don't just survive in the finished FPJ, they thrive, creating a living fertilizer that continues to work long after application. When you apply FPJ to your soil, you're not just adding nutrients, you're inoculating your garden with millions of beneficial microbes that enhance soil health, improve nutrient cycling, and strengthen plant immune systems. The enzymatic activity in FPJ is particularly remarkable. These natural enzymes help plants more efficiently process nutrients, improve root development, and enhance their natural defense mechanisms. Research has shown that plants treated with fermented plant extracts demonstrate increased resistance to pests and diseases, faster growth rates, and improved fruit quality. This happens because FPJ doesn't just feed plants, it optimizes their entire biological processes. Making FPJ is surprisingly straightforward, requiring only fresh plant material, brown sugar, and basic equipment you likely already have. The process begins with selecting your plant material, which should be harvested in the early morning when dew is still present but before the sun becomes intense. Young, vigorous growth is ideal. Think tender bamboo shoots, fresh comfrey leaves, or even the succulent growth tips of common weeds like nettle or plantain. The ratio is beautifully simple. 1 part plant material to 1 part brown sugar by weight. Chop your plant material finely to increase surface area, then layer it with brown sugar in a clean container, massaging the mixture gently to help break down cell walls and release juices. The sugar immediately begins drawing out plant fluids through osmosis, creating a concentrated brine that preserves the plant's vital compounds while fostering beneficial fermentation. Alright, so cover your mixture with a breathable cloth and secure it with a rubber band. This allows gases to escape while preventing any contamination. Now, the fermentation process typically takes, about 7 to 10 days. During this time, you'll notice the mixture becoming more liquid as the plant juices are extracted. The finished FPJ should have a sweet, slightly alcoholic aroma. It should never be putrid or offensive, okay? Once that's done, strain out the plant material and you'll be left with this dark, nutrient-rich liquid. This can be stored for months, just keep it in a cool, dark place. Temperature, well, it plays a crucial role in successful fermentation. Ideal conditions range between 65 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. That's warm enough to encourage microbial activity, but not so hot that the beneficial organisms die off. If your environment is too cool, fermentation will proceed slowly. On the other hand, if it's too warm, you risk creating conditions that are favorable to harmful bacteria rather than beneficial ones. Using FPJ effectively requires understanding dilution ratios and timing, but honestly the principles are refreshingly simple. For most applications, dilute FPJ at a ratio of 1 to 1,000 with water. That's roughly 1 tablespoon per gallon. This might seem extremely diluted, but keep in mind that FPJ is incredibly concentrated. Plants respond better to gentle, consistent feeding rather than heavy applications. The timing of FPJ applications can dramatically impact results. During vegetative growth phases, you'll want to apply diluted FPJ every 7 to 10 days, preferably in the early morning or late afternoon when stomata are open and plants can most effectively absorb nutrients. For fruiting plants, you should reduce application frequency once flowering begins, since, excessive nitrogen during this phase can actually inhibit fruit development. Soil application proves most effective for long-term soil building, as the beneficial microorganisms in FPJ can establish themselves in the root zone and continue working between applications. However, foliar applications provide quick nutrient uptake and can be particularly beneficial during times of plant stress or rapid growth. Many gardeners find success combining both methods, applying FPJ to soil weekly and using foliar applications bi-weekly during peak growing seasons. The implications of adopting FPJ extend far beyond simply replacing commercial fertilizers. This practice represents a fundamental shift toward regenerative gardening that builds soil health year after year rather than depleting it. Unlike synthetic fertilizers that can disrupt soil biology and create nutrient dependencies, FPJ works synergistically with natural soil processes to create increasingly fertile, resilient growing conditions. From an economic perspective, the savings are really substantial. A single batch of FPJ costs just pennies to produce and can fertilize an entire garden for weeks. More importantly, gardens managed with Korean natural farming techniques often require fewer external inputs over time as soil biology becomes more robust and plant health improves. Many practitioners actually report dramatic reductions in pest and disease problems, which, further reduces gardening costs and labor. Environmental benefits are equally compelling. FPJ eliminates the need for petroleum-based fertilizers, reduces packaging waste, and really minimizes the carbon footprint associated with commercial fertilizer production and transportation. By using local plant materials, gardeners also create a truly sustainable system that works with regional ecology rather than imposing external solutions. The long-term soil building effects of FPJ create what Korean natural farming practitioners call living soil. That's earth teeming with beneficial microorganisms, rich in organic matter, and capable of supporting vigorous plant growth with minimal intervention. This isn't just theoretical. Gardens managed with these principles often show measurable improvements in soil organic matter, water retention, and biological activity within a single growing season. Korean natural farming offers us a profound reminder that the most effective solutions are often the simplest ones, refined by centuries of practical experience. FPJ represents more than just an alternative to commercial fertilizers. It's a gateway to understanding how we can work with natural systems to create abundance while building long-term sustainability. As you begin experimenting with FPJ, remember that this is both an art and a science. Start small, observe carefully, and allow yourself to learn from both successes and failures. Your local plants, climate, and soil conditions will influence your results, and part of the joy lies in discovering what works best in your unique garden ecosystem. The path to fertilizer independence isn't just about saving money or reducing chemical inputs, it's about reconnecting with the fundamental principles that sustain all life on Earth. When you create FPJ from plants growing in your own backyard, you're participating in cycles of renewal and regeneration that have sustained agriculture for millennia. Ready to transform your garden with this ancient wisdom? Subscribe to the Living Soil Lab for more time-tested techniques that merge traditional knowledge with modern understanding. Share this guide with fellow gardeners who are ready to discover the power of working with nature rather than against it. Your garden, and our planet, will thank you for it.